Okay, so now that we have all of our data combined, now let's go ahead and start cleaning it. But first, let's inspect how many missing values do we have. And that's pretty straightforward. Thanks to Pandas, we can just go ahead, grab our entire data frame of data and call this function called isNA from it's not a number. And let's sum by the different columns. So when we call this, we see that, okay, the only column that actually contains missing values, it's the sales column. Okay, it has 3,000 missing values. But now we have a problem because if we remember correctly from when we were inspecting the data, sometimes, yes, we have missing values that is just an empty cell, but sometimes there were some phrases that were like missing or mancount or NA. This is also missing data, but Python is not going to interpret it as missing data because it actually has a value there. So we need to actually figure how much of those we have. And in order to do that, we're going to loop again. We're going to go ahead and create an empty list. We're going to call unique text values because in the sales column, we should only have numbers. So if something is a text, that means most likely it's going to be a missing value that it's actually called something that is not missing value. So we're going to create a list. We create this list, and then we're going to iterate through the different values of the sales column. So for value in my data frame, in the column sales, okay? So if, and here we're going to use a Python function very handy called isinstance. Okay, isinstance, yes. So this is actually going to look at this value. What we want to look if this value is an str stands for string. So if this is text, okay, if this is text, I would like to actually go ahead and append that value to my list. But I don't want repeat these values in this list. If it's already there, I don't want to repeat it. I just want to know the different ways on which people actually call a missing value something different. So we have here two conditions. So if this is a text and the value that I'm reading, it's not in the list, then we actually append it. Okay, right. So we run this and let's explore what we are able to find in the missing values. Okay, so it turns out that, okay, people was calling a missing value by many different ways. They sometimes put an underscore, sometimes they put NA, sometimes they put missing, sometimes they put mancount, which is in French, sometimes they just type no, a dash. So we have multiple ways in which people is calling a missing value. Now we need to actually deal with this. This is pretty straightforward because we can actually replace all of these by just an empty space or a missing value. And we can just say, okay, my column sales is going to be equal to, well, my column sales. And here we're going to invoke this Python function called replace. And what do we want to replace? Well, we want to replace all of these text that is equivalent to missing. We want to replace it with what? Well, with the equivalent, the official way of assigning missing value in Python, which is a function from NumPy called nan, not a number. Okay, so we go ahead, we run this, and now we replace all of this textual missing information with just empty, the real missing value. Now, if we rerun this function, let's copy and paste it, we're going to see that the actual number of missing values actually it almost duplicated. It went from 2,900 that we have here to 6,500. That means we actually had more missing values. It's just that they were not officially recognized as missing. It was other garbage text. Okay, good. So we have this. So now we need to set up a strategy of how we are going to handle these missing values. These missing values are only in the column of sales. So in the next video, let's talk about how we're going to handle them.